Pachi.
Hello everyone, today I have an amazing video and it is in honor of one of my daughters who told me she needed simple recipes that were quick to make and at the same time were healthy and easy to freeze or reuse in the second or third day. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to shred some chicken and we're going to use all the leftover stems of basil, of green onions, the leaves of basil that are not so pretty, and I wanted some stems of mint, which I couldn't find, but you can also add stems of anything you want. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove these stems because on the tops we have a lot of seeds and we use those seeds to plant more basil. Basil is really easy to plant. It's keeping up that takes more time because you have to cut the leaves, take them out, and prune them every so often so that they keep growing wide. Now we have some leftover green onions. They go in there. Some basil leaves that were not the prettiest in the world. And then I'm going to add the mint. Oh, and by the way, the cilantro also didn't come with a lot of stems, but you can also use the stems. So this is a great way to season our meats that we are going to shred, like the shredded chicken, or maybe if you have some shredded pork, they're going to be the bed of all of the aromatic liquids, because the liquids are going to come from this half a cup of water that we're going to add to the bottom. And they are going to be like the bed. Get rid of this. And I bought a whole chicken, removed the skin, but kept the bones because these are going to give me all the flavor that the chicken needs. Otherwise, it's going to be good, but it's not going to be amazing. So if you can buy just whole chicken pieces, it's perfect. If you can buy a whole chicken and don't mind removing the skin and a little bit of fat, I'm going to cut off. That's fine too, because sometimes you remove the skin, but look, it still comes with some extra fat that you can remove. Not that you don't need that anything's going to happen with the fat, but the liquid we're going to have is going to be an instant stock. So we don't want to have a fatty stock. Here we go. Let me wash my hands. And all we have to do now is turn it on, cook it for 12 minutes. Normally, I cook when it's just chicken breasts for 8 minutes. This one I'm going to cook for 10 so that it takes up more of the flavor from the legs and the thighs, who need a little more time. So let's cover our Instapot here and it's going to go cook for 12 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to make a spread that we're going to add to our patties because we are going to use it for patties. I mean, you can use it for anything. Just use it like that and leave it for tacos, sandwiches, for anything. But I'm going to make some delicious chicken patties that you can send to the kids to school. They're going to love them. No grain, no nuts. So let me get this out of the way and cooking. And actually the rice setting on this cooker is 12 minutes, high pressure, so it's perfect. Now we're going to make an amazing pesto that we're going to use for our patties. And I have a suggestion. If you don't want to make the pesto, you don't have to. All you have to do is buy a good quality pesto. That's it. So here we go. We're going to start by processing our Parmesan. Let me get the top of the food. Oh, here it is. Now we are going to add our basil. Which are only the leaves, and it's washed and should be a little more dry, but dry. We are going to add some garlic that I've taught you how to freeze so that you don't have to buy garlic and let it just go bad, but process it and keep it for all the time. We're going to add our salt, pinch of pepper, pine nuts, and we're going to mix, and then at the end we're going to add our olive oil. It's easier to do like this because it chops everything into tiny, tiny pieces and takes less time because it doesn't have the oil to make it dance around the food processor bowl. So if you don't have it dancing around the food processor bowl, it takes less time. So here we go with our olive oil. 1, 2, 3, and 4. If someone in your family doesn't like the taste of garlic, you can use roasted garlic. It is very subtle and they won't notice the difference, but it will flavor the food. So you can do this in a power blender too. It's going to be a little less grainy, but for what you need, it's going to be perfect. Here we have our pesto with the Parmesan and the pine nuts and everything. We're doing it complete because a lot of times I do it only with the garlic, the olive oil, and a little bit of salt and pepper so that I can add any of the other ingredients later. But this time we're going to use it as is. And now we have our pesto and our chicken cooking, and we are ready to just mix it with the chicken and make our patties. Once the chicken is out of the Instapot, we're going to let it cool down. The liquid is going to be an amazing, amazing stock. I'm going to show you one that I had from another chicken that I made, and then we'll just put it together and have our patties, and they are ready because they're cooked. Okay, so now we have our chicken that was cooked for 12 minutes in the Instant Pot or pressure cooker. and we used a lot of the liquid to make a sauce at once. So we basically have only a little of the stock, but we'll keep it. And now let's remove the bones. We have to do it one by one so that we make sure we don't leave any bones inside. So they mostly all have a bone on the top, a bone on the middle, and a little bone. Because this is the bone on the top. Let's get this part doesn't have any bone, it's part of the thigh. Then the next one has all of this. So we're going to get rid of all of this at once and check for the little pieces of bone that might have been left inside. And once you do this, I mean, everything comes out. And look at the tenderness. It's amazing. The tenderness of the chicken is out of this world. Here's the other one, the part without bone. That's the other thigh. And here we remove the bone. It's a little bit of meat there. Make sure it doesn't have any other bones there. And now we're going for the breast. And see the bone? This is the part, believe it or not, that has the most bones. So it's the one that we have to be most careful of. Once we look at the bones and remove them, randomly, you know, you don't have to know anything special like how to take out the bones. If you go back and touch it and make sure before you serve that all of the bones are out, because sometimes there are some tiny, tiny ones that are still there. Here is our other one. Check it out. It came apart, so we want to make sure that there is no more bone in there. So we do this. This is the other thigh though. Sometimes this happens. It's like 3 thighs and 1 breast. I'm sure it's the way they are sold at times. Now we have the wings, which we take out the biggest part carefully so that we don't get that top or bone or bottom. You can eat that, it's delicious. Here's one of the wing bones. Here's the other one. There's the meat. And voila, we are done. Let's make sure that all of the chicken is well shredded so we get beautiful patties. You see, there was one little bone. There's always some little bone left over there. So all you have to do is this. We'll see if there's anything that looks or feels, because they feel, look. But the bones also, if you don't want to cook it with the bones, try and get some bones, put them in some like a cheese bag or something, and put them inside, because the flavor of them is amazing. Now, there's something I forgot in the recipe of the dressing we're going to add, and it was the lemon or lime juice. So we're going to add it right there, and I'll come right back. Let's mix it. Let's start with like 4 tablespoonfuls, and we'll see if that's enough. Since both things are cooked, like the chicken, well, the other is Parmesan and things that don't have to be cooked, but we're not adding anything raw. Let's go to the bottom. We're gonna add the rest. You know, you can use this for many things, for quinoa, for pasta, for brown rice. People sometimes think it's only for pasta or pesto, but this is delicious with rice, with quinoa, with even if you add some sour cream, or if you add some yogurt, you can add it on top, a little bit on top of like baked potatoes. So you make something different. And like I said, if you don't have it and you want to buy it, go ahead and buy it. I mean, you want to make it a little bit different, you can add some of the lemon juice and the lemon peel, and that's it. If you want to make the whole thing, it is amazingly delicious, but we don't always have the time. So get yourself a good pesto, add the lemon juice and the lemon peel, and then it's light and delicious. Now we can use these as patties like we're going to make them now, and I normally freeze them like this. If you use the same scoop, make sure you wash it well with soap and water, because these are already cooked. You're going to cook them again if you want to, but you don't need to. You see? Beautiful. Now we need to add some more. So we have 3, 6, 9. Actually, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9. Okay, so now all you have to do is this. Freeze them. Ven, espérate, exacto, para que